History remembers Genghis Khan as a relentless conqueror, a man of blood and iron who carved out the largest contiguous empire the world has ever known. But if you look closer, his true empire wasn't built on the sharpness of his blades. It was built on something much more powerful, the human mind. Genghis Khan didn't just defeat armies, he dismantled the will of his enemies before a single arrow was ever fired. He mastered a psychological weapon that made surrender seem like the only rational choice. Before we dive into the strategy, if you enjoy deep dives into history and the psychology of leadership, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. We have a 5-part series coming your way, and you won't want to miss a single insight. Go ahead and join us, let's get into it. The secret to Genghis Khan's success was efficiency through terror. In the medieval world, war was costly. It drained resources and manpower. Khan understood that the most efficient way to win a battle is to ensure it never happens. He created a reputation for his army that preceded them, a shadow that stretched across continents. When the Mongols arrived at a city that resisted, the destruction was absolute. It was a calculated, brutal message. But here is the trick. He made sure the survivors of that city were allowed to flee to the next one. They became the messengers of fear. By the time the Mongol army reached the next town, they didn't have to fight. The residents, already paralyzed by the tales of the terror they had heard, opened their gates. Khan didn't just conquer land, he conquered the enemy's imagination. He made them feel defeated before they even drew their swords. Khan's genius was in realizing that fear is a force multiplier. By breaking the enemy's spirit, he saved his own troops from unnecessary casualties. Stay tuned for part 2, where we explore the art of illusion. Imagine being a general of a massive, well-fortified empire. You have 100,000 soldiers. You look across the plains and see a Mongol army. It looks like they have 200,000. But the moment the battle starts, you realize a terrifying truth: you have been lied to. The Mongol army was a masterclass in deception. They utilized feigned retreats, pretending to flee in panic to lure enemy forces out of their defensive positions. Once the enemy broke formation to chase them, the Mongols would turn and annihilate them. Furthermore, they used logistical illusion. Genghis Khan used the Yam messenger system to move troops in separate divisions that converged at the exact same hour on the battlefield. To the enemy, it felt like the Mongols were everywhere at once. They used dummies on horses, extra campfires, and dust clouds to create the appearance of a massive, unending tide. They were not just a force of arms, they were a force of perception. The genius of this deception was in the total manipulation of the enemy's confidence. If you enjoyed this, please like this video and ensure you're subscribed for part 3, where we discuss the meritocratic mindset. How do you keep a massive, diverse army from revolting? How do you turn captured enemies into your most loyal soldiers? Genghis Khan's answer was the most radical psychological trick in history: the meritocracy. Khan abolished the old tribal systems where nobility was based on bloodline. In his army, if you were a capable archer or a brilliant strategist, you were promoted. It didn't matter if you were a commoner or a former enemy. He famously integrated conquered soldiers into his ranks, giving them land, protection, and a share of the plunder. By valuing potential over pedigree, he rewired the psychology of his warriors. They weren't just fighting for a Khan, they were fighting for their own future and their own advancement. He turned the world's most fractured, war-torn region into the most disciplined, unified fighting force humanity had ever seen. Loyalty is not given, it is earned through merit. If you find these leadership secrets as fascinating as I do, please subscribe to our channel. Coming up in part 4, we examine the psychology of mercy. History calls Genghis Khan a tyrant, but he was also a master of diplomacy. He understood that pure fear has a limit. It must be balanced with the promise of stability. Khan's offer was simple: surrender and live, resist and die. This wasn't just a threat, it was a psychological release valve. He provided a clear path to survival for his enemies. Those who surrendered were granted religious freedom, tax exemptions, and protection under the Mongol law, the Yasa. He knew that a conquered city that was allowed to thrive and trade was far more valuable than a destroyed city that produced nothing. By offering this mercy, he turned potential rebels into productive citizens of his empire. He understood that humans are driven by the desire for security and growth. When he provided that, the need to revolt vanished. Diplomacy is often just another form of strategy. We are nearing the end of our series. Make sure you are subscribed for the grand finale in Part 5, The Legacy of the Mind. We have traced the path from fear to illusion, from meritocracy to diplomacy. Now, we look at the final result, the Pax Mongolica. Genghis Khan's psychological mastery forced the world to communicate. By creating a stable, safe trade route, the Silk Road, under the Mongol banner, he facilitated the exchange of ideas, technology, and culture between East and West. His trick was understanding that a unified, stable psychological environment was more valuable than any single raid. He didn't just conquer nations, he coordinated the world. His legacy is not the cities he burned, but the connectivity he forced upon civilization. He changed the course of human history by mastering the levers of greed, fear, and security. Genghis Khan was a genius of coordination. If this 5-part series helped you understand the power of the human mind in leadership and history, please like, share, and subscribe. It helps us continue producing deep dive content like this. Thank you for walking through history with us. See you in our next deep dive.